Okay, welcome. Chris here with the trades. Another set of stock trades that I'm looking at for the week ahead here for Monday, September 22nd. I'm going to get into six trades, six tickers that I'm looking at here for the week ahead. These are six trades that meet my criteria, which would be stocks and companies that have strong fundamentals first and foremost. Then, looking at a list of those stocks, I'm looking at stocks that, from a technical analysis standpoint, from the chart, look like a good setup. Basically, I'm looking for a strong stock that I would potentially want to buy and hold long term, but in this case, looking to trade, looking to capture some short term moves on the upside for some quick profits. So obviously, I'm looking for an entry. Looking for a spot to get in on a particular stock that is strong, should be moving up on the fundamental side of things, and I'm looking for basically a price point to for the price to come relaxing into a natural level of support for an entry. Then I want to hold that stock until it starts to move my way. Start taking profits on the way up. Of course, if it fails and it doesn't hold the level that I'm looking at, then I'll be looking to get out. So looking at the market here, there's a SPY on the chart here now. Obviously, it's just gone straight up for a while. As you can see on Friday, it tried to break up into new all-time highs. Didn't quite get there. It sort of didn't get to the top of that wick from Thursday, but still a nice solid green day on SPY. So looking at the list, six stocks here. First one is DVN Energy. This one has been kind of trading sideways, but on the fundamental side of things, is looking good. It looks like a strong, solid company. As you can see on Friday, we've got a big wash day. It's come down in price. It was up here on Thursday, came down 2 days in a row, looking like it's coming down into this natural level of support where this green sort of hazy area sort of marks off on the chart right here at 32.72. Then we got the stochastic pushing down below the 20 line. So that's what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for an entry. I'm looking for a strong stock like this one, fundamental wise, and then on the technical side of things, looking like it's coming down into some natural level of support. So I'm going to be a buyer into this range here, 3.8% or so. Probably looking to take it down to about these lows here where it wicked back here in July and August. I'd probably be wanting to go that far. Perhaps I'd be buying in slow. If it broke much below that, I'd probably be getting out because it's just the trade wouldn't be valid at that point. But I'd be looking to see if it wants to hold here at this level, see where we open on Monday. I'd give it down into this range here that I'm sort of moving the cursor back and forth in. And then of course I'm gonna be looking to take some profits if it wants to move back up into here, like 4.5%, start to take some profits. We got some highs back here as well to deal with. So that would be a price point. And of course, up into most recent highs. If it broke beyond that, beyond this 7, 8%, it might come up into these highs back here from where we saw in 2025 at the beginning of the year. That would be a nice gain, about 14, 15%. So DVN looks good. See where we open on Monday. Of course, if it just gaps down, like all of these, if it just gaps down below this natural level of support that I'm looking at, not interested. Same thing if it gaps up and it just starts to run, and then of course you basically miss the entry, and so be it. Move on to the next one. Speaking of which, the next one is Deckers Outdoor Corporation. This is a strong company. It's been a good performer, but not of late. As you can see, it's washed straight down, but it's starting to base, or it has been basing for a while. Hasn't really gone anywhere. But I've been keeping my eye on this because I was trading this back months ago, years ago. Of course, when it gapped down and ran, I took an entry, and I'm just basically holding that spot. I've just been watching it go down. It was a small entry. It was a starter position, so I didn't really care too much. But the chart has turned, and it technically, it has broken structure and started to move up. It came down. That's good. Last week or so, but the stochastic was still up in the midpoint. However, on Friday, it's sort of rolled over and it's come back down into this natural level of support here, where I'm looking at with my cursor. And the stochastic is down at the zero line essentially. Well, the fast line is down at the zero line. The slow line, the yellow line, has a little bit more room to run. But I'd be looking to see if it wants to bounce back up, to do a little crossover here, like we saw back here, and push. But of course, at this point, this wasn't really my buy strategy because it was still in this red zone. It wasn't looking like it had broken structure. It has now. So will it move up? That is the big question. It's got a lot of room to run on this one. Risk wise, down to about 5 or 6%. I'd be looking at here. If it broke too much below that, I just probably wouldn't be interested. But I am interested in this now, the way it's setting up. You're looking to take some profits up into the first high here from of recent history, and then up into these highs as well. That's about 8 or 9%, 10% really. And then up into these highs, it wants to come up into here. And if it can break above there, I'd be wanting to hold a few. Because if it can break above there, it's just blue sky. It's plenty of room to run up into all-time highs because this stock is good. And look, we've got a gap fill from way back here. A gap fill way back here. Look at this big gap. It's super high from where we are now. It's way up there. But technically, it's a gap and hasn't been filled. Will it fill it? Who knows? But that would be the ultimate greedy target over. And it would take a while. I mean, it's not just going to shoot straight up. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But if it got up there, I'd be looking to see if it wants to close that gap. All right, so that's Deckers. Next on the list here is Live Nation. Live Nation's been a strong performer. It's come down into support and bounce, down to support and bounce. Done it a few times, and it's looking like it wants to do it again. It just does. That's what the chart's telling me. It's come down, hit this natural level of support, finding some support off this lower wick. It's got this long wick and a push back up at the end on Friday. It definitely came down, found some support, and moved back up at the end of the day. Stochastic down at the low end of this band. There is still some room to run on the stochastic down. So I'd be looking to get in here on Monday, see where we open, take it down, at least down into this level here. It's 2 or so percent. But I probably take it back down to about 157.88, where there were some highs back here in February. So that expands the risk a bit. If you look at that from Friday's close down into the highs from back there, that's 3.75%. Still pretty good risk-wise. That's nothing to get too worried about. I'd be a buyer into this range, see if it wants to keep going with this trend, see if it wants to keep running up. I'd be taking profits up into here, 2 or 3%, small profit. That's not that much of a gain. And then looking to take it up into highs, 7% or so. That would be where I'd be looking to get out of most of my position if it wants to play ball and do what we think it will do. All right, next is XHB. Okay, this is the Home Builders ETF. Broke structure some time ago, back in July this summer. It's been performing nicely, bouncing off of support, pushing, bouncing and pushing. It's come back down. Okay, on Friday, the stochastic is nice and low. It's down where I want to see it for a buy, potentially a buy. See where we open on Monday, but down into this level here, it's about 3.6%. I probably wouldn't hold too much below that. I'd give it a little room. Like all of these, when it comes down into this natural level of support that we're looking at the chart, we don't just get out as soon as it breaks, and certainly not until that break candle closes for the day. We want to see where it ends up. So I'd be a buyer into this level here, looking to take some profits up into this first range of highs, 3%, 4.5%, certainly up into this wick where it wicked up and slammed back down. Yeah, I'd definitely be taking profits there, holding most of it or some of it until this most recent highs. And of course, if it wants to break there, it's off to the races. We could see an 11 or 12% gain on this one. But we'll see how it wants to perform and what it wants to do. Next, Carnival Cruise or Carnival Corporation. Carnival Cruise, I guess, is the boats. But anyway, Carnival, CCL, again, broke structure way back here. It's been performing nicely, finding some support right off of these levels of support. So it's come down, hit the stochastic and bounce, come down, hit the lower level of stochastic, bounce, it's come back down again, hard and fast. That's what I like. I like to see it come moving down swiftly into support. It's got a little range here, still some room to run on the chart, down to about 5 or so percent. Stochastic is down where I want to see it for an entry. But at the same time, since it's giving us a little bit of a mixed signal, I'd be a buyer definitely into this range, and I probably want to take it down into these lows here in all reality. So that expands the risk. The chart's a little deceiving. Down into this level here, it's 8%. It's wide. I wouldn't want to go too much further than that, because if it does break below there, it probably will just fall apart down into these levels. So if it wants to come down here, I'd be like all of these. I'm going to enter in slowly, scaling in to a certain point, and then that's it. I'm cutting it. But if it wants to come down a little lower, that'd be fine, and then bounce and move back up from here. I'll be taking profits up in the 3-4% range. up into these double top, essentially 5, 8, 7, 8%. And if, of course, it wants to break from there, we got all blue sky from there on up. So anything could happen. So that's what I'm looking at on Carnival Corporation. And last on the list is NLF, which is the Herbalife Corporation. So this one's been real nice. I like this one a lot. It's I've already traded it a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago. I was a buyer right at this point here where the stochastic came down and hit this lower level. I got in here, took some profits there. I'm still holding some. I'm looking to add to my position on this one. Going to be a buyer into this range here. Again, it's pretty wide, 8%, 7%, but down into this lower wick, down to about 8.33%. Yeah, that's wide, certainly. I'm hoping that it doesn't want to come all the way down there, but finding some support before then. Although, just based on this chart, where it wicked here and where it was also highs back here and this big volume zone back here, it would not be illogical to think that it wants to come down to this range before it makes a move back up. So again, I'm going to go in slow with this one, buying in slowly, adding to my position down into this range here. The stochastic looks real nice. It does look like it wants to curl back up. So that's encouraging. And then, of course, this chart is deceiving up into these highs here. And that's 12, 13%, all-time highs of late, almost 20%. So this thing can give us a good move, which is why I went in, got in here and took some profits right there. It's a little hard to see because this chart is very busy, but there was the buy point. There was the first take profit when it shot straight up, which was, let's see how much of a gain was that. Roughly 2%, 3%, almost 2%. Of course, I was starting to take profits slowly, expecting it to kind of run back up. Of course, it didn't do that. It failed and kept on coming back down. So I'm just going to add to my position, be real cautious with this one and take it slow and see where we go. So that's what I've got. 6 trades for the week ahead. See where we want to go on this, on these plans. See where we open on Monday. That's what I got for you. That's what I'm looking at. Happy trading.